So I actually come from South Africa. I didn't know a soul in London at all. Arrived, I had a bald head. It was February. I was going through my Sinead O'Connor phase. And so for me, I was like, oh my God, here I am. This is London. This is where the face comes from. This is where punk comes from. This is where Vivienne Westwood comes from. It was so exciting. Landed in Earl's Court. I had £200, and I remember it so clearly. I stayed in a hostel with 60 quid of my £200, so lived off McDonald's 99p burgers, which was awesome. And literally my first weekend, I was like, oh my God, this £200 is not going to get me anywhere, and someone needs to shave my head because it was growing out in a bad way. So went down to the King's Road, and because of course that's where Vivienne Westwood's background comes from. And I was walking past this hairdressing salon, and the phone was ringing. And I walked forward, phone was ringing. Walked back, phone was ringing. Forward, phone. So I walked in, and I was like, in my head, I was like, I can get my hair shaved for free. 200 quid, didn't have enough. And I walked in, and I said to the guy standing in the front, and I was like, you must be losing business because your phone has been ringing. And I've walked backwards and forwards for 5 minutes. And it was Tony of Tony & Guy Hairdressing. Gave me a job on the spot. At the time, it was the coolest hairdressing empire. I had no idea it was a global empire. I had no idea about anything. Literally, fresh off the boat, literally. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I'd never been in an interview. And he gave me a job on the spot as his receptionist. And of course, I could get my head shaved, which was the most important thing at the time. That put me in a path that would change my life forever, because I literally come from apartheid South Africa, where there was no prospects and there was nothing to do. So the point is, keep walking, ladies, you'll get there. After 5 years, I was head of PR for Tony & Guy Hairdressing, and quickly realized that unless I married into that company, it's a family-run company, that was my ceiling. And at the same time, there was this awesome thing happening called the internet. Now, you guys have grown up with it, but there was one computer in the whole company that had email. Of course, I demanded it for me. And actually, the Sunday Times magazine was so funny, it had one computer with email. So I was completely convinced that this internet thing was going to be the next big thing. And so after 5 years, I went up to Anthony, and I was like, I have to leave because I'm going to start the first online marketing company for the fashion industry. But of course, no one had the internet, and there was no audience out there. So it was really an incredible time and opportunity where you go, okay, what could this be for me? This could be the thing that I love. And how can I go forward where there's nothing, actually? And that's what I wanted to talk about today, is how do you bring that vision into reality when you've got no investment, you've got nothing to go back on, and literally you just have a passion for trying to do something different, and in a completely new industry. So you've got to turn your vision into a reason for being. That's really, for me, what's important. And I'll put it into a few sort of practical, tangible steps that I took, and I still use to today. So importantly, you've got to know your target audience. Who are you trying to attract? Seriously, and you've got to really understand what they're about and what their need is, because there's so much stuff out there. There's so much stuff. There's so much everyone can do. What is the thing that's going to be important to you, and who are you trying to sell to? So once you've got your vision, as Sharma's laid out for you in a really lovely plus equals, that I think is awesome, by the way, how do you actually then move it to the next level? Because my accountant said to me, or not my accountant, the person who set up my limited company said, you are not in business until someone is paying for your goods or service. Until then, it's only a hobby and it's only an idea. So that's when you really turn that. When someone bothers to pay you, that's when you know you're in business. Before that, it's just a dream and it's just a vision. So how do you turn that then into the next phase? Who you're trying to attract. Keep that in mind. That has to be always your focus, because that really leads on to how you get to the next steps. So why do you think they need or want your services and goods? As I said, there's so much stuff out there. There's so much stuff. And it's not necessarily about newness. It's sometimes about reimagining, retweaking what's out there already to make it better. The Dollar Shave Club is a brilliant example. Go and check out their case study. They have now been bought for $1 billion. Yeah, and there's two guys who launched their product online on a YouTube channel, and it was awesome. The Dollar Shave Club, check it out, it's a great case study. So why do you think they want or need your services and goods? This is your target audience. Really understand that. And then what are you trying to sell them to answer that want or need? So Dollar Shave Club, for instance, I mean, men have been shaving themselves for years. Gillette dominated that for a long, long time. And then these two guys were like, actually, we just want it to be convenient. So you can have a disposable razor sent to you, to your house, and that's really what it is. It's as simple as that. And that has literally disrupted that industry, just saying. So what are you trying to sell your target audience to answer that want or need that is different? And make sure that there's a purpose behind it, or else it's just going to be fluff and just more stuff out there, which none of us need. When are they opening to receiving information from you? So that's really important. When you're thinking about writing your communication plan, how are you going to speak to them? Are they night owls, for instance? Or are they... are you focusing on people who work every day? What's the best time to talk to them? That's when you should try and connect with them. So when I was at Adidas, after I closed my company of 10 years, I was actually headhunted to be global director for PR, social, and content for Adidas Originals, which was awesome because I could bring all that experience of 10 years, multiple clients, and actually bring it to one place. And really, we had to create content and information that went out at different times of the day, depending on where people were. So Hong Kong is definitely your morning area, Asia. America goes online from 3 p.m. You have to be able to make sure that you're hitting people. There's no point sending people, especially if you're a global CEO, information in the middle of the night. It's not going to get to them. So really, really be aware of your target audience, what they do, where they are, and how you can reach them at the right time. And then finally, how will you provide that product or service? So think about new ways of distribution. Look at Deliveroo. Look at HelloFresh. Look at these things. What is technology today that I know that this entire area and Future Girl is about? How do you deliver these services in a way that's convenient for people and that works for their lifestyle? So really, just want to take those 5 questions, guys, and really think about those pieces to give you a really practical way to get your product or goods into the marketplace. And hopefully that's been helpful for you as well. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions about anything. Here to help. And actually, what's come out of my years and years of working as a CEO and now being in really fantastic companies, I'm absolutely able to help people like Sharma and other people to really get their visions come forward, and yours as well. So thank you for that. Cheers.